let's talk about something sacred in the world of motorsport. Something that doesn't just test speed, but tests the soul of both machine and man. The 24 Hours of Le Mans. For racing fans here in the US, we often talk about Daytona, Indy, or even Formula One. But Le Mans? That's a whole different beast. It's not just a race, it's an ordeal, an engineering showcase, and a battle of patience, strategy, and resilience. So where did it all begin? A race born in the early 1900s. The story of Le Mans starts way back in 1906, long before the idea of endurance racing even existed. That year, the very first Grand Prix was held near the town of Le Mans, France. Just 34 cars showed up for 12 laps on public roads, and it was Ferenc Sich of Hungary who won after driving for over 12 hours. Can you imagine racing for half a day on roads that weren't even built for cars? But it wasn't until the 1920s that the race we now call the 24 Hours of Le Mans really took shape. A crazy idea that changed everything. A man named Georges Durand had an idea. What if, instead of a short Grand Prix, we held a 24-hour race? Something that pushed cars to the limit, not just in terms of speed, but durability. It sounded insane, until it wasn't. In 1923, the first official 24-hour race was held by the Automobile Club de l'Ouest on a public road circuit near the Sarthe River. Only 33 cars competed, mostly French, and the winners, Lagache and Leonard, completed 128 laps, covering more than 1,300 miles in a Chenard and Walker. From the beginning, Le Mans wasn't about lap records. It was about survival. Could your car stay alive for 24 hours straight? Could your team keep it running when everything was falling apart? A global challenge. Throughout the 1920s and 30s, manufacturers from across Europe and later the world joined in. British, Italian, German automakers came to prove their cars had what it took. Even back then, it was clear, if you wanted to prove your car to the world, you came to Le Mans. But in 1939, everything changed. World War II broke out, and the race was paused for a full decade. When Le Mans returned in 1949, it came back bigger than ever. Over 100 cars entered that year, and Ferrari took its very first win, a huge milestone after years of being beaten by Alfa Romeo. The rise of legends and rivalries. By the 1950s, Le Mans had become a cornerstone of the World Sports Car Championship. Manufacturers like Ferrari, Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, and Aston Martin went head-to-head in one of the toughest environments possible. But with greater speeds came greater danger. In 1955, tragedy struck. French driver Pierre Leva, racing for Mercedes, warned that the pit lane area was dangerously narrow. No one listened. Just hours into the race, Leva's car launched into the air and crashed into the crowd. His car exploded. He died on impact, along with 83 spectators, making it the deadliest accident in motorsport history. That moment changed everything. Safety became a priority. Regulations were tightened, and motorsport slowly evolved into something more controlled, but no less dramatic. United States America enters the arena. The Ford versus Ferrari era. Now here's where it gets really interesting for us Americans. The 1960s brought one of the most legendary showdowns in racing. Ford versus Ferrari. Yup, the same battle that inspired the 2019 Hollywood film. Enraged after a failed deal with Ferrari, Henry Ford II vowed revenge. The result? The Ford GT40, a car engineered not just to win, but to crush Ferrari. And in 1966, it did just that. Not only did Ford win, they swept the podium, taking first, second, and third. It wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. And Ford didn't stop there. They went on to win 4 straight Le Mans races, showing the world that American engineering belonged on the global stage. Speed, strategy, and innovation in the modern era. By the 1980s, speeds were insane, sometimes topping 240 miles per hour on the Mulsanne Straight. That led to a new regulation era focused on fuel efficiency, kicking off the Group C category. Cars had to be fast, but they also had to be smart with fuel, a direct callback to the original vision of Le Mans. Porsche absolutely dominated this era, winning 8 out of 10 races in the 1980s alone. But the 90s saw a decline. Major manufacturers started pulling out, and by the 2000s, only Cadillac and Audi remained. But Audi? They didn't just show up, they owned the decade, winning 8 out of 10 races between 2000 and 2010. A new generation and a new race. In more recent years, Toyota has taken center stage, finally grabbing their first win in 2018 after years of heartbreak. Now, manufacturers like Peugeot, Ferrari, and even BMW are back in the game. Le Mans has found its second wind, now part of the World Endurance Championship, where hybrid and electric technology are setting new standards. Why Le Mans still matters. Sure, 24 hours might sound like a ridiculously long race. And for many American fans used to short sprints or NASCAR ovals, it might feel like overkill. But trust me, Le Mans is the ultimate test of a race car. It's not about laps. It's about endurance, innovation, teamwork, and pushing boundaries. It's about seeing who can stay alive the longest, not just who's fastest. And that right there is why Le Mans is still king. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, drive safe, race hard, and never lift. Bye.